I'm your host, Tony. Dak is out today, so I'll be taking over for us, and we'll be getting into the Arizona Cardinals offseason preview and sneaking a peek at what could be their draft, at least a three-round draft if you're new. Welcome. And if you're new, obviously you don't know what the series is, so let's get to it. This series is an overview of how this franchise's offseason is going, a brief overview of their front office, key players, free agent signings and pickups, and as well as a little mock draft at the end, a three-round mock, and little tidbits along the way. But before we get too deep into stuff that doesn't really matter, let's just get into the fun meat and potatoes of the Arizona Cardinals. So, as I mentioned, Arizona Cardinals. This series is going to be the top 6 picks of the NFL draft. So if you've missed the other two, we've done the Jets and the Raiders. And this, obviously, the Arizona Cardinals pick number 3. So this is the third episode in this series. So the Arizona Cardinals coaching staff, similar to one of the other teams, has changed their head coach. So Mike LaFleur is the new head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, formerly the offensive coordinator of the Los Angeles Rams. And then they brought in Nathaniel Hackett and Nick Rallis as offensive and defensive coordinator, respectively. Nathaniel Hackett has a bad rap after the fiasco that was the Denver Broncos and as well as the New York Jets. He's been known to, he's kind of known as the Aaron Rodgers buddy, I guess. If Aaron Rodgers is on a team, he's going to try to get him on the team because when Aaron Rodgers was on the Packers with a little bit of a success, Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator. Nick Rallis, I'm not sure. I don't know much about him, but I'm fairly certain he's a. No, I'm just not even going to act like I know anything about him. Nick Rallis is their defensive coordinator. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with these new faces in these new places. Key players for the Arizona Cardinals: Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Budda Baker, Walter Nolan III, and Josh Sweat. Two of them, for those of you that follow the Cardinals or just know some general stuff about the NFL, are wide receivers. Marvin Harrison Jr. was drafted 2 seasons ago, and we've been waiting for his big breakout. It probably won't be this year either because they don't really have a real quarterback. Jacoby Brissett is their slated starter for week 1 with, I believe they signed Gardner Minshew backing him up, so that should be interesting. And then Michael Wilson's a guy that plays number 2, second fiddle, but with when Marvin Harrison Jr. was out last year, he really shined and showed what he could do on the football field. Budda Baker has been their stalwart on the defensive side. He's been their consistent, just mauler. Whether they need interceptions, some turnovers, or just a big hit, Budda Baker's their guy. He excels deep and in the box. Whatever you need, he's the Swiss Army knife of the Arizona Cardinals. Walter Nolan III, I added him in here because he was in I believe a second-round pick last year, coming out of Ole Miss. He is a defensive tackle with pass rush upside, and he didn't really have much opportunity last year because of early season injury. So it'll be interesting to see what he does with progression. And then the last guy I added was Josh Sweat, who was a big free agent signing last year from the Philadelphia Eagles as well. Take a quick drink of water. Not water, this is Powerade. Okay, it's a lot different when you don't have somebody to bounce ideas off of. So the free agency so far. I don't know if this is totally up to date, but these are their 3 biggest signings. So their free agency signings, they brought in Tyler Algier, 2 years, $12.5 million. Isaac Seumalo, I believe he's a guard. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers for 3 years, $31.5 million. And Kendrick Bourne, another receiver, 2 years, $10 million. Kendrick Bourne, I believe, was from the Patriots, but he's also, if I'm not mistaken, from the 49ers. Fairly certain he plays the slot. I obviously don't know much about Kendrick Bourne. Which is interesting because I thought Greg Dortch was their guy, but maybe he's a free agent that they just didn't bring back. Yeah, Greg Dortch is now on the Detroit Lions. So they must have brought in Kendrick Bourne to kind of take his place. Um, so yeah, it'll be interesting. It's a good thing that the Cardinals brought in a younger guy in Tyler Algier to play backup to James Conner, especially with Conner's injury last year. I don't remember off the top of my head what his injury was, but let me take a quick look. It was a right ankle injury, required surgery. The injury occurred in a game against the 49ers. Yeah. And then his recovery time. Oh, no. Um, yeah, he's expected to be ready for the 2026 season. So Tyler Algier is well versed in the playing running back too, and he's darn good at it as well. So I would expect the Cardinals' run game to be much better this year with that signing. Now, free agency targets. So they have been known to have offensive line problems, and both Jawan Taylor and Taylor Decker are both options still unsigned. To my recollection, I don't believe Jawan Taylor's been signed yet, which is kind of surprising. I know he has the penalty issues, likes a false start, but he's still a darn good tackle. Um, and darn good tackles are hard to come by in this league. The all positions. Let's go tackle. Taylor Decker and Jawan Taylor are both free agents. According to Spotrac, which is the website I'll be using, or I've used for the contracts and everything with this series so far, Taylor Decker is 32 years old and plays left tackle, whereas Jawan Taylor sits at 28 years old and plays right tackle. So they could have two bookend, not bookend, I won't say bookend, um, two quality starting tackles, and then bring somebody in the second round to probably play. Well, here's the other problem for the Cardinals is there's not a lot of left tackles in this draft. Um, Francis Maui Noah, who we'll be talking about later, wink, wink. That was awfully hard for me. Um, is one of the left tackles, and I believe it's one of the Utah guys. Uh, it's not Spencer Fano. Utah tackles in NFL draft. Um, Caleb Lomu is the left tackle, and he's not projected to be a high first round pick, but could be based on need. I couldn't imagine that the Cardinals take him at number 3, though. So let's, without further ado, get into who I do think they will take at number 3. So we do two different scenarios. We do one with a trade, one without a trade. The first one is without a trade. So 3-round mock draft, no trade. I went a little bit of a different route here. Caleb Downs, Caden Proctor, and Jake Galde. Caleb Downs next to Buda Baker would just be so fun. They already lost their starting safety alongside Buda Baker this offseason in free agency, and Francis Maui Noah is, well, this entire draft class, there's no consensus, right? There's nobody that's like penciled in or freaking chiseled in stone outside of Fernando Mendoza. A couple years ago, we knew Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams were going in the top 3, top 5 at the bare minimum. This year, we don't know what's going on, at least to this point. With that being said, Caleb Downs is a phenomenal playmaker and somebody who could very well success Buda Baker as well as playing alongside him. Caden Proctor would be their tackle for the future. And coming in the second round, that's perfect. Hoping he's still there. I haven't heard much about him in terms of like rising or falling, so I'd imagine he's still a safe number 2 round pick. And then Jake Galde is a linebacker from Cincinnati who is very solid in running down and tackling people. Doesn't miss very many tackles either, if I'm not mistaken. So just a solid guy to throw in and just maintain the run. Now for the trade, I had them trading. Oh, dang it. I didn't update this slide. Huh. That's awkward. Let's go back to this one. Because that's from my Raiders one. I must not have had a trade for this one. Um, yeah, so that'll do it for the off-season preview for the Arizona Cardinals. Um, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the miscue. But with all that being said, like, subscribe, comment. Let me know down below what you guys think about the Arizona Cardinals off-season. When do you think they'll be back in playoff contention? In my opinion, I think it's going to be a while because the Seahawks and the Rams and even the 49ers kind of have that thing on lock. So unless Kyle Shanahan or Sean McVay leave, those two teams at the bare minimum have that division locked down. So far, I give their free agency um, a solid B, I guess. They didn't lose anybody that's crazy, and they didn't sign anybody that's crazy either. But they do have some holes still, so a solid B is the ranking that I will give. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys in the next video. Peace.